Noted, Commissioner.
I couldn't be disqualified as a person with a law degree because this is covered, because that's not what's in the requirement. When I apply based on what the requirements say.
Noted, Commissioner. Anybody can apply for the post. It says it's external. Anybody can apply for the post. That is noted, Commissioner.
And in fact, on that point, then, it undermines the point you make at 12.6, precisely what you've just said. You say TSS is a very secretive operations unit. TSS working on operations methodology, practices, and capability are unknown to the majority of members of SAPS. It would have been reasonable to expect accused one to have chosen major generals from CI to reduce compromising TSS and its operations. In so doing, TSS would maintain its secrecy and strategic operations advantage. That would then go to the very advert. It cannot be advertised outside the crime intelligence environment because it would undermine functionality if you introduce people from outside who know nothing about crime intelligence and they are exposed to the covert operations of this unit. So, to take issue or to reason as you do at 12.6 for an external advertisement which you accept is legitimate and that SAPS and this unit can draw from members of the general public. Why is that an issue as to how secretive the operations are if you are trying to recruit from members of the public?
Can I just add to that, that why is it your business as IDEC? SAPS is happy to have people who don't belong there, for you to raise it there. You may well eventually find there was a crime in it, maybe the court will find that, but I'm just asking IDEC as an institution, why is it your concern that SAPS has allowed accused 5 to be part of a panel and it is advertising externally in this, what you describe as a secret environment? It seems to me that you are overreaching as IDEC. It's not your issue. SAPS is a separate institution from you. Where is the, maybe, why is that a problem to IDEC? Where do you come in? Your mandate, remember you have a mandate, you're a creature of statute. You don't go about looking at facts and saying, oh, I think they did wrong there, let's charge them, or let's create a complaint. You don't do that, you're a creature of statute. When you raise a complaint, as you're doing, because you didn't write this stuff for the sake of it. You were influencing the decision maker who's going to give you the warrants that you're applying for, right? And you're influencing whoever's going, because they're going to look at this, they're going to listen to your evidence. Why is it IDEC's problem that SAPS has decided to include someone in the panel who's outside of the environment of crime intelligence? Not only that, too, that it is going to be interviewing and possibly appointing someone from outside if it is not precluded by the law or by prescripts. This is not, it doesn't require you to give an answer that speaks to the case about testimony that you're going to give. It has nothing to do with it. You formulated your charges. I'm trying to understand IDEC's understanding of its mandate, and you as an investigator in this docket, your understanding of the mandate. What about what you say in these paragraphs has anything to do with your mandate prescribed by law? Not what you feel like in the office, that, oh, that feels wrong. You can comment if you want. I hope you have an answer for my question, because I think it's an important question. It's about your understanding of the mandate of IDEC. That's what these questions are about. Why is it your business? You can say to us, in terms of section 7(1)(a), look at that section. Issues like this fall in there, or whatever other provision of law that you say covers something like this.
Chair. Commissioner, thank you. I know that sometimes I give a long story, but let me just give a quick comment. We say that SAPS chose a panel, approved a panel, advertised it externally. When we look at SAPS today, and the number of senior managers, allow me to comment on this. When you look at the state of the national head office and the serious corruption with national commissioners and deputy national commissioners and senior officers being arrested for corruption, then we have to ask ourselves the question is, what is it IDEC's business to go into a space like that?
Has the National Commissioner been arrested for corruption? Has the National Commissioner been arrested for corruption?
The National Commission,
I think you included him when you stated who has been arrested for what.
when I, sorry, sir.
Has he been arrested for corruption?
The National Commissioner has been arrested for contraventions of the PMFA.
Is that
That is
corrupt?
linked.
Is that of necessity corruption?
That does not amount to corruption at this stage, sir.
But you lumped his name with corruption charges.
Can I correct myself, sir?
Please.
What I meant, and let's go with the arrest of senior and national commissioner, deputy national commissioners, and the current situation at SAPS as it stands. And the same with crime intelligence, currently and previously. Then when you ask, is it what business of its IDAC in terms of their mandate? So the only way I can put it this way, if it's not IDAC's business and I'm investigating and it comes to my attention and I have the evidence, I will go into that space if it flows through from my investigations. Yes, there is a Section 7, there is a Section 28 that regulates us in terms of where we can go and whatever. But during the course of my investigations, if these things come, during the course where I picked it up, I will continue to investigate it. As a law enforcement officer, I cannot ignore it. But what I'm pointing out, and I'll cut it off now, is that SAPS at the current moment, when you look at approving of a panel, approving of many other documents that I've seen and had insight into, when you look at that, I don't trust the documents that they signed. In this particular case that we have that we have now, there is a document during this process that was forged.
So,
Signed and
Yes,
approved by head
yes.
office, but the document was sent to forensics and it came back that it was forged.
so Colonel, IDEC has arrogated to itself the power to be an overseer over SAPS. Is that what you are saying?
No, sir.
You are. That's what you are saying. You say there's everything wrong with the management, top management of SAPS. If I come across something, I will investigate it. I'm using something deliberately because my other question, before you said the last things you said, my other question was, if you come across what exactly? If you come across what you believe to be criminality, or which is what you say, I will investigate it. If you come across what?
During the
What appears to be criminality? Please, let's not lengthen it. If you come across what you consider to be criminality,
Yes.
you will investigate it.
yes,
That's exactly what Commissioner Baloyi has been engaging you on. Where's the criminality? And in fact, Commissioner Kumalo was there as well. Where is the criminality with regards to this panel? Where's the criminality? Especially regard being head to the fact that SAPS is happy with that list. So you are saying you cannot rely on SAPS because there's a lot wrong with SAPS top management. Therefore, you cannot rely on what they are happy with. Is that what you are telling us?
Commissioner, Chair, Commissioner,
And bear in mind, you are not able to say that panel was drawn or selected in accordance with prescript. You are not able to say that. So on what basis are you telling us what you are telling us?
what I said initially, Chair, Commissioners, is that during the course of whatever investigation that I am busy working with, and they come, and I come across corruption that is linked to what I'm busy with, I will investigate that.
Let's stop there, let's stop there. So in this instance, you came across a corruption which you found to relate to the selection of the panel. Is that the corruption you came across?
The panel that in question,
Is it the selection of that panel which constitutes what you considered to be corruption? Which corruption you came across and therefore decided to investigate? Is that the corruption, the selection of this panel?
the choosing of the panel members, that's where I saw the corruption during the investigation.
I'm not sure that you were able to answer, Commissioner, my two colleagues, on exactly where the corruption lay. I'm not sure you were able to answer that, especially if you're not even able to say that that selection was not in accordance with prescripts. In fact, even if it was not, I'm not sure that that would automatically translate to corruption. But we're not even there. Just at the level of the lack of non-compliance with prescripts. So on what basis would you make the jump and say therein lay corruption? Just on what basis would you say that?
Chair, Commissioners,
Yes.
the basis that I lay on it is that during the investigations, we found corruption with regards to the panel during the investigations.
Don't get to the conclusion. That's the conclusion. What I want to find out are the antecedent facts that lead you to that conclusion. You are not able to say that there was non-compliance with prescripts, and then you jump to a conclusion that says corruption. Just on what basis do you come by that conclusion?
Commissioner, it's as I answered, Commissioner, and it's as I answered now, that during the course of the investigation, Commissioner, that we found that there was corruption with the panel. I'm not talking about...
No. That's very illogical. That's very illogical reasoning, Colonel. So you start with a conclusion and then you work your way backwards. Don't you start with an investigation? Of course, that being an investigation, that's authorized in terms of the law, sections 27 and 28.
Yes, but...
So you start with establishing facts, and those facts lead you to the conclusion, and not the other way around. You repeatedly start with a conclusion. That cannot be, surely. Do you agree?
Commissioner, maybe it's the way I'm explaining it.
I've asked you several times, surely you would have understood by now and you would have come up with a better explanation than repeating yourself.
Yes, Commissioner.
I don't want to say like a broken record.
I understand, Commissioner, and I'm at pains, to explain it. Like you say, I'm coming at the conclusion of it. What I'm saying is, conducted an investigation that during the course of the investigation, this is what we found amongst whatever else. It's not that we found now the panel is corrupt. I don't know if I'm understanding you correctly, because you have asked me many times, and it seems like it's drawn out. but I'm trying to answer it in the best way I can.
It must be drawn out if I don't understand you. And especially if you keep repeating a conclusion without telling us the factual basis for getting to that conclusion, it must be long drawn out. You want me to end it here now?
No, Commissioner, if you want me to go into the specifics on each panel member and how I came to that conclusion, if that is what Commissioner is looking for, then
No, I would not want you to go there because you have not specified, at least as I understand this, you have not specified anything that relates to each one of the individuals on the panel with regard their membership of the panel. I'm not aware that you've stated that, so I would not allow you to get there.
I'm still at the loss.
I'm sorry?
I'm still at the loss, Commissioner.
Okay, I know. I will.
Maybe
Maybe you will understand me now. I'll go back to an earlier question I asked you, and I'm not sure that you answered it. And it was this. You say there's a lot wrong with the senior management of SAPS, starting from the National Commissioner, a substantial number of whom have been arrested for whatever offenses. And you then basically say, therefore, you do not trust senior management. And you say this in the context of the selection of the panel. And my question was, so does IDEC then arrogate to itself the power to oversee SAPS?
No.
That's exactly what you are doing. Why can you say no? Why can you possibly say no? On the explanation you gave in response to Commissioner Baloyi's last question, that's exactly what you said, or rather the impression you created.
Noted, Commissioner.
Explain
SAPS
yourself. You can't just say no without explaining yourself. Explain yourself then.
Commissioner,
Bearing in mind that this question comes from your response to Commissioner Baloyi's last question.
yes, Commissioner.
Yes.
SAPS, IDEC does not oversee SAPS. And if I came across that way, Commissioner, then I will apologize for that. SAPS, IDEC does not oversee SAPS.